This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Welcome back to the Awakening Women podcast. I'm your host, Leanne. And in this episode, whether you're new or a returning longtime listener, I just want to give a bit of a heads up that the message and who I'm speaking to is going to be shifting over the next while. You will notice a change in the direction. When I started this podcast, I started it with a whole different niche, a whole different focus. So this podcast actually has been running, probably for 7 years, I want to say, maybe a bit more. I'd have to go back. So this podcast originally started when I was just transitioning out of my counseling practice, moving online, and it was focused on burnout, emotional eating, stress, and the connection, the mind-body connection. I wasn't really talking about relationships back then, but then I started to see a theme with women I was working with, because I always tend to attract women of like mind and women who are going through things that I've been through. That's how it works when you energetically attract women that feel drawn into, your particular energy through your story or through the things that you've been through. They can feel that you can help them. And so it would never fail that a woman would be sitting in front of me in my office expressing things that I myself had been through. So I was able to walk her through that really quickly. And so I was specializing in the eating disorder realm, the burnout and adrenal fatigue picture, as well as depression and anxiety, because those things were like the biggest presenting concerns that I saw in my counseling practice in those first 6 years as a counselor. And then I shifted 6 years in to the Awakening Women space. And so you'll see if you were to go back on my podcast how I shifted from that. I did some talking around business, and I did some coaching and consulting around business for a time until I went all in on the Awakening Women piece, launched my program and the cycle, and the rest was history. That business has done very, very well. I've been very successful at that. And it's a passion of mine to help empower women. But what I have found in my journey is that because I am always evolving, I'm very much in my own work. I'm always growing, always learning in different programs. I invest in myself, and I'm very dedicated to my self-growth. It is part of who I am. It is my identity. It's what I do. I spend a lot of time alone now with no kids at home a lot of the time. And I can say that I don't turn the television on. Like, it's a rare occasion. And what I'm doing instead is I might be puttering or doing some things around the house, going for walks, self-care stuff with my dogs, but also I listen to quite a few hours of personal growth a day. Quite a few hours. Whether it's something that I'm in, books, coursework that I'm revisiting, different mentorships, or I'm oftentimes learning from multiple mentorships. And I love it because it fuels me. And then I have to balance it sometimes with integration. Like, okay, I've taken all this in. Now I need to actually implement it. And it's a work of art, and it is a passion of mine. And so it's not like a grind for me. If I'm learning from someone that inspires me and expands my way of thinking, and they are where I want to be, I want to learn from them, right? And so as a result of that, because I have been actively doing this work, the work that I guide women through, the work that I'm telling you in this show that you need to be doing. Stop fucking around with a guy that's making you crazy and shift the focus onto you. And this is what it looks like. It looks like investing in yourself. It looks like paying for coaching. Yes, it does. It looks like showing up for coaching sessions. And it looks like, you know, sometimes it is spending when you don't quote unquote have the extra money sitting in the bank account. And some women, even though they do, they still won't invest in themselves. They just keep struggling along, doing the same things over and over and over, wondering why they're not getting a different result with all the things that they're doing, because they're trying to piece together freebies and YouTube and free podcasts and scrolling endlessly on Instagram. You're not going to grow anywhere from that. You might get little insights, but you're not going to get growth. And so I'm very passionate about this because I'm walking the talk. I'm not just saying it, I live it. So as a result of that, I've gone through many evolutions of this work. And I've mentioned that a few times where I've done coaching with women who have been on the other side of divorce. And I love that as well. But my passion is to help women to stop abandoning themselves no matter where they're at. So if you're still in a marriage that you already know, you don't need to be told or convinced that there's a problem. You already know what the problem is. You just haven't found a solution to how to change it. And so you don't need more therapy to talk about the problem. You've already tried that. And where has that gotten you beyond maybe a few insights or being able to vent? And, you know, even therapists have their threshold point when you come in over and over and over talking about the same things. They can't, you know, they're just there to listen, and you eventually can tell that they check out, right? And, you know, what's missing is actually having the strategy to move you forward, the inner work and the outer work. And so what I'm going to be talking about here more on the show is to entrepreneurial and career women. You already have success in that area. You've built the business, you have success, you have finances, you have your own money. Maybe you're working way too much and you feel overwhelmed and you're wondering, how the hell am I going to figure everything else out when I'm working and looking after kids and all the things that go along with that. There is an identity shift that has to happen when we're in that place of overfunctioning, overdoing, high achieving, overworking. And a lot of times it's shifting from doing more to doing less and doing the things that actually move the needle forward. You might be focusing on a lot of the wrong things. And so I'm going to be talking with you more here about what some of that looks like, the identity shifts that have to happen for us to be able to operate in a different energy. So I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to be talking about different things around how do you step into no more self-betrayal? How do you stop abandoning yourself? How do you stop over-functioning in all areas of your life to the point where you're burned out and you're spread thin because you got all these balls in the air that you're trying to juggle and you want to simplify and you just don't know how or how to do it. And that's what I'll be talking about here, because the core message and the core work that I have been doing that has not changed is it's about back to you. So when women have come into my program that was once called End the Cycle, it is now called the Relationship Clarity Method. And what I've done in that is, yes, they've come in unsure of what to do about their relationships. And they've gotten clarity on that. But the core of the work was, we're putting the focus back to you. This actually isn't about him. And there was some women that would come in, my high achieving women that are work. They're busy, because this is the women I attract. And some, once in a while, rarely, but sometimes would be kind of abrasive about the amount of time I was requesting and actually requiring and suggesting that they spend on themselves because they're already busy enough. How am I going to take this time to focus on me? That right there is the root cause of all of the issues. Because even if you're really busy, there is always going to be time to devote to yourself. And that's what I get really passionate about coaching women around. But what I don't like is when women are like, yeah, but this, yeah, maybe I'll do that. And then we get into the next session. Have you done that? No, I didn't do that. I can't handle that. I've done that enough of my life. I cannot work with women who are not ready to help themselves. And so, you know, as I've evolved and I have grown, I have wanted to shift my message into other things. And it's still helps you if you are in a relationship you're not sure what to do with, but it's not really going to help you if you just want to stay stuck in the problematic cycle. We're going to be talking about why are you staying stuck and what are the things you need to start doing to shift and have that quantum leap into new levels of awareness, consciousness, energetically, wealth consciousness. I'm so passionate about that. So I'm going to be talking about money and shifting your mindset, because a lot of women, even if they have their own money, they're disempowered around their money. And we need to shift that. So regardless now, the core beneath all of what we're going to be talking about is no more self-betrayal, no more self-abandonment. And that means that everything else in your life, aside from if you have young kids, of course, their needs have to be at the top. But aside from that, and even in that, there is teaching kids about boundaries, that mom takes care of herself. And within your relationship, within your work, career life, with other family, with other friends, because when I get to working with women, they start to see that there's problems in multiple areas and it can get overwhelming. So we don't need to tackle everything all at once. We start with the very tippity top core issue, and that is coming back to self, to being the woman who has the things that you say you want. So that's what we're going to be shifting into. I hope you'll be coming along with me. So you're not going to be hearing, I'm just announcing here, no more 10 signs of narcissistic abuse, no more here's how to know you're being gaslit, no more of all of that, because I have already done that. If you want that, scroll down. There's hundreds of episodes here on that. I've already been there, done that, said enough. And so if you're still struggling with that, there are those episodes here for you. And if you're ready to move into the next level, you are ready to say, fuck it, I need to figure me out. And you're no longer trying to put more energy into fixing a man. Whether you are in the relationship, a long-term marriage, or maybe you're dating, or maybe you're in a new relationship after divorce, you're a woman that likes to be in relationships, you like the connection, you like having a man in your life, no shame in that. There's a lot of gross talk online. You know, there's just a lot of, if you are on like divorce accounts or some of the dating accounts, it's just a bunch of bitter women that have not healed themselves, that are just bad-mouthing all men. And I'm not here to be the type that's to say, oh, they're not all men are like that. Well, I don't think all men are narcissists, no. And I don't think that all men are bad. I think there are a lot of not so good men, bad men, definitely out there. It's problematic because even just in the fact that I have whatever it is, 76,000, 90,000 women total in my communities, like my whole online community. So that's just me, one person in this whole world that has attracted 90,000 and growing women saying, this is me, this is what I'm experiencing. That's a problem. So I'm not here to say it's not a problem, absolutely not. But the real problem in this is the way that we are being in our lives and with men and in our relationships, where we abandon ourselves, we disappear within relationships. We lose ourselves in relationships. And so if you are someone that wants to have a relationship that's healthy or that meets your needs, then you have to get you right. And so what women do is they get into a relationship and they completely lose who they are. They stop doing all the things that make them them. They start to align with the man's beliefs or the man's desires instead of going, no, I don't believe that. I believe this. You can believe that. I have no business trying to tell you what to believe, but I don't believe that. This is where I'm at. And a healthy relationship has room for both of those things. But what I see that we women do is we abandon those parts of ourselves to keep the peace, to get along, to be easygoing, to be feminine, meaning that you can't speak directly from your truth. Well, when you're embraced in the dark feminine, that's exactly what you do. You speak your truth. You are very clear about what you want and what will not fly with you. You do set boundaries. You remove yourself from things that are not for you. You remove your energy. You cut things off when things start to go down a path where it doesn't feel good anymore. And you're not messing around. So it's not about staying quiet and mousy and nice, quote unquote, nice, being the nice girl. We're done with that. It's stepping into your fierce feminine power to set boundaries and draw a line in the sand and say, no more of this. So if you're coming with me, I have an invite for you. I am on July 28th, if you're listening to this now. I'm running a Be Her challenge inside of a Telegram broadcast group. So this is a free app. You download it. I'm going to be putting broadcasts in there that you can listen to at any time during the 3-day period. And you can listen right from your phone, on a walk, on a drive, anywhere. It's really, really handy. In fact, the idea I got from this is because I'm in a couple of programs where that is the case, and I absolutely love it because I'm an audio girl. I would much rather, like, even if I'm in a course and I'm listening to videos, I've probably got the phone in my belt bag out for a walk with my corded headphones because I try not to use my Bluetooth all the time. I feel like it literally heats up my brain. My daughter makes fun of me for that. I still use my old school corded headphones. But I will be listening to courses I'm in, videos on a walk because I have a really hard time sitting through videos. But I will listen to audios while I'm doing other things. And so I wanted to create that experience for you because I did get a few women in my last challenge that was videos. And one woman had said, I am not going to have anywhere private to listen to these videos where I'm not going to be heard. So you could go for walks and listen to it. You could be in your car. There's really no... Women, we make stupid excuses, but regardless, take this time for yourself if you really want to change. If you want to continue doing what you're doing, then don't bother. Just keep doing what you're doing. This is for you if you're fucking done with that. And you're done making stupid excuses and making up reasons why you can't put yourself first. And you're ready to say, screw this. I am over this. And you're ready to put that time into yourself. If you're not, that's fine too. I am not here to convince or twist anyone's arm that you need to put you first. So this is for you if you're ready to do that already. I don't want to push anyone, tell anyone what they should and shouldn't do, or have to coerce you into wanting a new experience. If you want that, I am your girl. I'm your mentor. Come follow me. Follow me into my communities. I've got some really awesome stuff coming up very soon. And we're going to be going into this. It's not about changing him anymore. It's not about working on the relationship. That's not what we're talking about in these spaces. This is about shifting and pivoting. Just as I'm pivoting with what I'm talking about, you're going to pivot what you're focused on. So we're pivoting all together. You're coming with me or you're not. You don't have to, obviously. But if this really resonates with you and you're ready to take that next step, then get into the Be Her challenge. I'll put the link in the show notes and I'll see you inside.